It is an immense pleasure to introduce him. Dr. G. Viswhwnathan, the founder and chancellor of VIT University. Born in a remote village near Vellore in Tamil Nadu, his inspiration was recognized when his party chose him to contest the elections in 1967. He entered the Indian Parliament in his early 20s, a remarkable achievement. He founded the Vellore Engineering College in 1984, and today, over 25,000 students are enrolled in 53 undergraduate and graduate programs, with nearly 16,000 residing in the campus. His life is a source of inspiration to the modern youth. Standing as a proud VITian, I am privileged to invite Dr. G. Viswhwnathan to deliver the welcome address. Presidential address.
What is this? I don't know. Be quiet. Our chief guest, Professor Seth, Mr. Batra, Professor Xavier, Professor Reeves, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students, very good morning to you. After the speech of Mr. Batra, I thought it would be not easy to speak to you. Well, when he came to Delhi in 1967, I also went to Delhi. He was brought as a child. I was taken there as a member of parliament in 1967. Today I found out that our chief guest, Mr. Professor Seth, and myself were together for 4 years in Loyola College. We never met at the time. Now we are meeting after 55 years or 60 years. I'm happy that you have chosen a very good subject, digital media, and you are going to give awards also. Digital marketing. Well, before going for marketing, we should have enough products to sell. We know that India is an ancient country, not only just in existence, but it was dominating the world. If you go to Angus Madison, the economic historian, he tells us that till the advent of Industrial Revolution, India was contributing the maximum to the world GDP. India and China put together, we contributed 50% of the world output. It started declining after the Industrial Revolution, where India did not participate. Even then, we remained as a rich country. Otherwise, we would not have so many invaders, beginning from Alexander the Great up to the British. Why were they coming to India? Because India was rich. We feel that we are a poor country. We are not a poor country. India is rich, but only Indians are poor, not all Indians. We were doing trade when many countries were not in existence or they were not discovered. If you go through the Roman history, Strabo writes about Roman trade with India during Indus Valley civilization, which is 5,000 years old. The southern kings, the Cheras, Cholas, and Pandyas, they were using the sea route, and the Mauryas and other kings of the north, they were using the land route. There is evidence that the Pandya kings' ambassadors were received by the Roman emperors, and all our spices were sold in Europe, particularly in Greece and Rome. Mesopotamia was the trading center for India. This is the kind of trade we have thousands of years ago. And it continued. Even now there is a possibility. But from 30,000, 33% of the world GDP once we produced, at that time, the world GDP was about $102 billion. Now it has gone beyond $72 trillion, and India contributes about 3%. Now the Asian countries have come up. As Mr. Batra was mentioning, Japan was the first country in Asia to overtake the Western nations. It created a history, economic history, by becoming an advanced nation within a short period of 20 years, which took nearly 50 to 70, 80 years for the Europeans and the Americans. And again, it is Korea which competed with Japan and became an advanced nation almost 19 to 20 years. So if at all there are countries where India has to emulate, it is Japan and Korea. China is trying to follow the same model. As far as trade is concerned, we have been doing very well. Even now we are trying to do. But after the new economic policy in 1991, often he mentioned our former Prime Minister. At that time, he was the Finance Minister, and Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. They introduced the new economic policy. Once the new economic policy was introduced, our imports started more than our export, and exports also started growing. And if you go through year after year, you will find that we are improving, both in import and export, but import is more than our export. In 2012-13, we imported much more than our export, and the trade deficit was $190 billion. Fortunately, we are increasing our export. In the next year, from $190 billion, it has come down to $138 billion, out of which our trade, adverse trade against China alone is $36 billion, because we import very many products from China, and we have to compete with them. It's not only just export, but export should be a finished product. That's where marketing comes. What is the need for marketing if you are going to export raw materials? Even now it's being done. I don't know how many of you study this, especially students who go through international trade. You must find out how much steel we are importing and how much iron ore we are exporting. In 2010-11, our export of iron ore was to the extent of 21,000 crores. And in the same year, we have imported iron and steel worth 47,000 crores. This is how India is doing its international trade. Not that I'm pessimistic, but we have to do a lot. I can understand once we were exporting cotton and importing cloths from Lancashire and Manchester. That was 200 years ago or 150 years ago. At the time, we didn't have the technology to do it. We didn't have the capital to invest. But we are not the same old India. Now we have enough capital, whether in accounts or outside accounts. You know very well, we always talk about money in Swiss banks. Why do you go to Swiss bank? In each and every house, there is black money, because the finance minister of India presides over only 50% of the economy. The rest of the 50% is growing without the help of a finance minister or finance department. That's our country. But we have a potential, great potential to grow in our exports, and that requires very good marketing. It requires that we should produce quality products, and it should be competitive in the world market. Then marketing comes. I think you are all going to do it. The whole day we are going to discuss how the digital marketing is playing an increasing role in the present world. I find the internet, the mobile phone, all of them playing a major role, and especially the mobile phones. It has taken over the functions of many, and now we have crossed 95 crores of mobile phones in our country. Probably within short period, we may cross the 100 crore mark. And the internet is also increasing on the increase. Now we have more than 24 or 25 crores of internet connectivity. And it's also fast growing, especially among youngsters. And how are we going to make use of this for selling our products? And in fact, we are teaching ethics and values to all our children. I think the figures were not updated. The students this year is 29,000. 24,000 in Vellore campus and 5,000 in Chennai campus. And I want all of them, we want all of them, when they go out, they should know what is moral and what is immoral. They should know the values in life. And there are certain countries where we can blindly purchase products from them. Take, for example, Germany. If you want a good car, a sturdy car, we buy a German car. So far, there is no competition for them. There are certain products where you go to Japan and buy. Now, Korea is competing with Japan and other countries. How is it possible? Once we show whatever we have to sell. There are companies where they will show you a good product when you go and visit them. But when they dispatch, it will not be the same product. It will be a substandard product. This kind of marketing will kill not only the company, even the country. So there is every reason for us to practice ethics and values in our business. And we should make use of. Fortunately, we missed Industrial Revolution, but in the IT revolution, we are on the forefront. That is why digital marketing, digital media is very good for us, very helpful to us. And the only thing is, I want the youngsters to manufacture, going for manufacturing, because manufacturing doesn't contribute much to the Indian economy. It contributes more than 55% in China, whereas manufacturing contributes only around 20% to the Indian GDP. So there is a great need, an urgent need for us to go in for manufacturing quality products at a competitive rate and use the media, the digital marketing, so that we will reach all the corners of the world. That's the message which I wanted to give, and I wish you all the best.